wanted to talk a little bit about our eco-church journey at St Peter's. I think we've got a few slides. So this is St Peter's, and we're just up the road from Caroline in North Bristol, near Horfield. We're a suburb of Bristol, and this is us. And we got our Gold Eco-Church Award a year ago, so September last year. Hooray! Which was great. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how we got there, really. So how did we work to integrate care for creation into every aspect of our church life? And I can reassure you that it hasn't yet involved any big structural work or a new heating system. It hasn't cost us millions, and I think that every church can do it. So I'll just run through a few examples of what we've been up to. I think the first and most important thing is that we established an eco committee. So around sort of end of 2020, we got together a group of people who all were passionate about the environment. And it's been so important having that committee that reports every time to the PCC. So every time the PCC meets, there's a slot on the agenda where we give an update and we ask for votes and agreements. But also that group drives the momentum and drives the energy forward. So it's not just one person feeling like they're sort of, repeating themselves a lot every time that the environment is mentioned. There's a whole team of people, and the vicar sits on that eco committee as well, which is important. And the Eco-Church survey is split into 5 areas, so I'm going to quickly talk to each of those. And the first is our land, because there are better photos of the land, so I'll talk to that first. And we started with our church garden. It's not a huge space. I mean, we're an urban church, so we don't have a lot of land around us. But we looked at the land that we did have and thought about how we could manage it for nature. So we dug a pond, as you can see there, and I think if you click again, you can see what it looks like now. We installed a pond, and it has lots of wildlife living in it, and lots of frogs and, all sorts. And planted a number of trees, and that's a bit of an old photo from when we just planted those trees you can see on the right-hand side. Now we've also planted hedging all along the back fence there as well. And all of those tree packs were free from the Woodland Trust. So you can contact the Woodland Trust and they can send you can choose what sorts of plants you want. And now is the time to do it, because between now and March is the time to be planting trees and hedges. So do look into the Woodland Trust and look at where you can start planting trees. And you can see that we've mown little paths through a sort of rewilded area that we've planted with wildflowers. And so that it looks intentional. I think on the next slide we've shown, that's another tree that we've planted. There is a picture of an interpretation board. So when people walk, there we go. When people walk past, they can see that we haven't just let it all go to rack and ruin. We're doing it intentionally to care for God's creation. So we have that board right on the sort of pavement side of the garden. So welcoming people in as well. And we find that it's been a really good outreach activity. Lots of people have been using the garden, using the space. Children on their way back from school like to go and have a look in the pond and see what they can see. And it's been a great way of engaging young people as well this on the right is photos of the youth and young people's groups making bird feeders in the winter and hanging them from the tree. So it's been a really lovely opportunity to do that. So as well as planting a wildflower meadow and mowing paths through, having an interpretation board, planting trees and hedges and making a pond, you saw on the last slide a huge bug hotel that we created as well. And we've also hung up bird feeders and bat boxes. So it's been a really positive aspect of our whole church life, really, engaging in this part of the eco-church scheme. But that's not all of it, because we've also been doing quite a bit of work of integrating it into our worship and teaching, which I think is on the next slide. So this is a photo of inside St Peter's. And we have a particular focus on the environment at different times of year. So at the moment, we're in the season of creation. So every year through September into the first week of October, we have a series specifically focused every week on creation care. With different speakers and different activities, bringing the whole church together. And we also have a focus around Christian Aid Week in May as well, and that often has a climate justice focus. But we also ensure that it's involved and integrated into the church and the children's work as well, and young people's programmes, so that they engage with it every year too. And every intercession, every week, we mention some of the climate charities that we support. Climate stewards are here, and we pray for climate stewards as part of our intercessions and make that a part of our kind of commitment to our global partners. And it's something that's part of our outreach giving as well. So we have a number of environmental charities we give to. So looking quickly at the building, you see at the bottom there we have our energy footprint tool that some of you may have used, and we identified a number of different changes we could make in our church building. As a result of that tool, we replaced all our lighting with LEDs, did some draft proofing, and we've all, I think, now had energy audits done as well. So there's recommendations off the back of that we've been considering. So when the hall boiler needed replacing, we ensured that it was replaced with the most energy efficient boiler we could. And we switched to 100% fossil-free energy tariff as well. So when our contract came to an end after 3 years, we made sure that we weren't being locked back into an energy tariff that drew from fossil fuels. We're also reviewing our banking and looking at switching our bank accounts as well to a fossil-free account. We also installed solar panels, but that was actually after the Gold Awards, so it wasn't something that we did as part of our kind of accreditation last year. So it's something that we've done since then. But it just shows that that's the whole process of engaging with Eco Church has made everybody in the church really think about our footprint and what more we can be doing and wanting to do more. And then finally, thinking about our community engagement and lifestyle changes, which are the other two aspects of the award scheme. We've done a number of things like community engagement days and church activity days. So this is our young people doing litter picking, and I actually think this isn't litter picking, this is clearing an area of land, but we've done litter picking days as well. And we have regular events that have a focus on sustainability. So last year we had a big clothes swap, which I think is on the next slide. And eco festivals every year to bring the wider community in to share in what we're doing, and using the church to host climate and environmental exhibitions as well. And one of the hardest things is the lifestyle changes and in kind of trying to incorporate it into everybody's day-to-day life. So we use our monthly newsletter to have eco articles in and promote other campaign actions that people can be taking. We have in-church recycling schemes as well for batteries and blister packs and all those hard-to-recycle things that volunteers within the Eco Committee do for us. So it's been a really positive thing for St Peter's, and I hope this has just given you a few ideas of different things that you might do, and I'm sure there's lots that you're doing already in your churches, because lots of us are all working towards this same goal. So I wanted to end with 3 reasons, really. If you're still sitting here and thinking, oh, I'm not sure if we really have the energy to do all of this, it sounds a bit involved, I thought I'd give 3 why to do it. Firstly, I think it's really good for outreach and engaging with your local community, especially young people. And we found that young people have really engaged with this and got really stuck in. And it's been a brilliant way of involving them and making them active. Secondly, it's been an encouraging focus for people to come together around as a church community, and really strengthened our relationships with each other. And then finally, I think most importantly, it's a way of living out our discipleship of Christ Jesus, isn't it? And if we truly believe that we're called to love God and love our neighbours, then doing all we can to care for God's creation is a good place to start with that. So I'd encourage you to all continue on your Eco Church journeys, and I'm around if you have any questions.
Thanks, Pete.